Hello, I just wanted to provide a very quick guide on the installation of the mobile editing application that we've built. So this will be installation of on an iPad. So on the screen here you're looking at iTunes. We've actually got an iPad connected to via USB to a laptop. So we're going to show you how also to configure the application as well. So in the top left hand corner you'll see three files. You'll see the IPA file, which is the application itself. There's an editing app file, which is a configuration file, and then there's d6_offline, which is a TPK, so that's for offline use. So let's go ahead and install the application. What we first need to do is to drag and drop the application itself into the apps library in iTunes. Once you see the actual icon for the application itself, go to the top right hand corner and click on iPad. This effectively gives us a window into our connected iPad, and we're just connecting on the apps button. Now we've already got a version of the demo app on the application on the iPad itself, so we're just going to remove that very quickly. So we just click the button that says remove, and then we sync that, and you'll see in the top that it's actually now removing the old version of the application that's on the device, and that'll just step through the process very quickly. That's now done. The next thing you'll see in that window is the ability now to install a new version. So we're going to click the install button, again go down to the right hand corner and click apply. Again the same process, except in reverse. We're actually now copying the application over to the device. Once that's completed, and we see remove in the button here, we're now going to just scroll down to the bottom. We'll actually see in the window of iTunes that icon for that application. Now to the right we've got the ability to drag and drop documents related to this application onto the device itself. So the first thing we're going to do actually is we're going to actually drag the TPK onto the device. Now you'll see again in the top hand corner that that is now loading on the device itself. So good, so we've got both the application and the TPK now loaded on the iPad. Let's go ahead and open up this configuration file just to show how easy it is to actually configure the application. So what you're looking at here is a simple XML. It looks intimidating, but it isn't. All the information in here is basically things that the application will load. So the first line here is a logo. So in the top left hand corner there is actually a small logo. If you want to change that logo to something which is specific to your organization, then simply change that information there. So it would need to be your web server, for example, and the directory where that icon sits, and then the icon itself. In this case we're pointing to a logo for the Idaho Transportation Department, which is what this demo data is using. The next line in the XML file is actually the title. So in this case we're actually going to change it to Idaho Mobile Editing Demo. Let's just leave it at that. The next line is the web page that the logo links to. So if you tap the logo in the top left hand corner, it actually links to this web address, so it'll actually it'll open up on the iPad, the browser, and it'll take you to that web address, so you can link to your home website. The next line's the TPK. Now if you're loading different web maps in this application, you'll need to potentially load different TPKs. So this is the name of the TPK that we've just loaded on the device. So again, the application will reference that TPK using this configuration file and load that, and we'll show that in a minute. You don't need to change this next line. This just talks about the actual file name. So if you actually did change this from editing app.xml, you would need to actually change this file name. But my suggestion is that you don't do that. The last piece of this is the web map. So this is the web map ID that you'll be able to take from ArcGIS.com and place in this application. So if you're going to change, if you've got a different field group that are going to a different area and you want to use different data, change the web map ID to that specific set of data that you want to use, and potentially also change the TPK, and then the application itself will load a different web map, and when you go offline a different TPK. And that's basically it. Let's just close that. We'll keep our editing, and then what we're going to do also is drop that into this documents directory, and that's a pretty quick load. So we're now ready to try out the application. What I'm going to do is pull across, this is actually my iPad, so the iPad we just drag the data onto. This is it. We're using an application called Reflector, which allows us to view the iPad itself. So we've got the splash screen that comes up. We're going to OK that to the geolocation piece. We see that the title in the top's changed to Idaho Mobile Editing Demo, so you can see that we've actually read the configuration file. There's the web map we've loaded, which we've given that web map ID to. If we wanted to change that icon, as I mentioned, this is the Idaho icon that we've used in the configuration file. You can change that to whatever your organization's icon is. And again, if you click on that, if you tap that with your finger, that will actually take you to the website that's listed in the configuration file. Now, I'm not going to walk through the workflow of the application itself, but what I wanted to do was just briefly to show you that the TPK loads as well. So in this application, this is an offline editing application. We're going to actually load the application offline, so we'll click on the layers button and then we'll click on the tab, which gives us the ability to load offline maps. Once we've hit that, the application now looks locally to load data. So now it's actually using the data, the editing data, which is the points, layers, and the points, lines, and polygons here, which is our editable information. Behind that, you can actually see a very simple TPK. This is just signpost and road data. So it's a very simple TPK, relatively small, and that's the TPK that comes with the demo. So there you've seen a brief introduction to how you load the application on an iPad and how you can very simply configure it. A similar but simpler actual workflow would apply to an Android device. You'd connect the Android tablet to the device via USB and simply drag what we drag through iTunes. You actually drag those 3 files to the download directory on the Android device. From there you can actually then install the application from the device itself, and then everything that you reference from the application will actually be referencing what's in the downloads directory. So a simpler installation process for Android. But that's the basic configuration and setup for an iPad. Thanks for watching.